Hello everyone, it's Fred again from Notes of a Nomad. This is video number 86. And today I want to take you back in time to 1942 when I was born. There was no such thing as Facebook, and when a baby was born, what did you do? Well, one thing that was done, and my mother did, she had a book which I believe was given to her by one of the drugstores or chemists, whatever you call them, as a gift when baby was born. And she filled in some details about my first few years of life. And these were recorded in this book. Now, this book probably would be thrown away, and when I pass away, no one would ever see it again. So I thought, well, maybe my future descendants might be interested in what they did in 1942 and what happened when someone was born. And so this is my baby's own story, year by year, in a book that my mother kept. So I would like to go through some of the pages, and maybe the future descendants would say, that's interesting. So my mother wrote in my name, but she misspelled my first name. She had an E in there a couple times, you'll notice, but there's no E in Frederick. And it's in cursive. Now, in the future, a lot of people won't even know how to read cursive because a lot of people aren't even learning how to write cursive any longer in schools. Originally, we lived in a rented house, I believe, on North Algoma Street in Port Arthur. And then we moved to where I grew up on 20 Leys Street, one block long, and until I was 13, and we moved to Vancouver. So 20 Leys Street, all of this happened there, to the best of my recollection. And as you can see, the book is year by year, story of our baby, Frederick Edward Jones. This time it's spelled correctly. And it mentions on the first page that I was born on Sunday, July the 19th, 1942, at the General Hospital, which was Port Arthur General Hospital. Drove past that many a time, and my mother's saying, "Oh, that's where you were born, in that hospital there." My mother's name was Helvey. My father's name was Ray or Raymond. The doctor was Dr. Harold. The nurse was Miss Skinner. I was named Frederick Edward, spelled correctly, and I was christened with that name in the St. George's Church on September the 4th in 1942. News to me when I read it here, as it was in this book, not Facebook, but baby book. I weighed 10 pounds 9 ounces, which means I was a big baby, and looks like I was a good baby. I had blue eyes and black hair, and I went on my first trip to Boulevard Lake. Many a time did we visit Boulevard Lake that I can recall, but I couldn't recall this visit because I was 2 weeks old. That was my first trip somewhere to Boulevard Lake, not very far from Lay Street. A nice brief walk. I got congratulations, a letter from my aunt Helen, my mother's sister, and my first visitors were my dad or father. And these were sort of the gifts. From Burke's drugstore, I got a baby set, and from um, Cook's drugstore was the baby book, which I think I'm looking at and showing you pictures of. Got a lot of clothes from different cousins and etc. Baby bonnets and booties and so on. And I first smiled at 3 weeks old. And I waved my hand at 9.5 months old for saying bye bye. Yeah. And I must have been a cute baby, I guess. Who knows? First discoveries was general grasp objects at 6 months, discovered my own hands at 5 months, recognized mother at 3 months and father at 3 months. And my first words was when I said dada, da, and I said mum for mum, and other words were see and nice. So there we are, see nice. I sat up at 8 months. I crept at 1 year. I stood alone at 13 and a half months, almost stood up, and took my 3 steps at 14 months, and 5 days before 14 months I walked. Well, there we are. That's progress. First Merry Christmas was at home with my granddad and my uncle and aunties, and I got some gifts of clothing, etc., and a kimono. Happy birthday at my first year. I had a nice birthday cake at home with a candle, and I had my Granny Young and Aunts Lily, Betty, Arlene, and Hazel, and my mom and dad, and I got gifts as well, and I got $1.25, which was a lot of money. $1.25 I got from my Granny Westernen, which was my mother's mother. And the family tree, my mother didn't know a lot about it, obviously. She just didn't know my father's parents, because they were passed away, I believe. They were passed away by then. And one in Wales and the other, I believe, in Canada, her mother, my dad's mother. And then my grandfather and grandmother who spoke Finnish from the old country, which was Finland, could never speak to my grandmother other than hello. She spoke Finnish and I did not, but my mom could speak Finnish and spoke to her. My first haircut was at 13 and a half months, and there's details of it. In fact, there's a couple locks of my hair in the book. And my second birthday was celebrated at home with a birthday cake, and these were the individuals and my gifts. And I had a lovely card, and I got 25 cents a quarter, or 25 cents. You could buy a lot with 25 cents. A chocolate bar was only a few cents. So you could buy a lot of things with 25 cents, but that was my second. And I got $1 from my grandmother, Westernen, on my mother's side. I had my favorite toy was my teddy bear called Toby, and a shovel. And I loved running and playing. At 3 years old, I didn't have a party, but I had a nice birthday cake with 3 candles, got some gifts again, and even got another 25 cents or a quarter from my cousin Linda, who I should talk to again. I haven't spoken to Linda for a while. And I got other gifts from my other cousins, Eileen and Raymond, who, again, I've spoken to recently, but should give them a call as well. And I got a wagon, but I got it a bit later, apparently, from my mom and dad. There's a record of my teeth when I had my first teeth at once at the age of 9 months, and I received a dog and a cat as a pet. I remember Blackie, and Dickie was the cat. Blackie was the dog. Prayers, I said my prayers repeated after my mom at 5 years. My fourth birthday was at home with a nice big birthday cake. My Aunt Eva and Linda, and my dad, I got a truck, and I got clothes, and I don't see any money this time. Money was tough to get. 6 years I went to school, Shunya School. Still have a badge from Shunya School. It's on one of my hats. And Miss Penwarden was my first year teacher, and my best friends were Clyde and Frankie Watson. They lived across the street. They've passed away, but I still speak to their sister. I keep in contact with her, Kathleen Watson, who lives still in Thunder Bay or Port Arthur. At 5 years old, I had a birthday party, lots of people there, lots of gifts. I got 25 cents again, and I got 50 cents again from some of the children on the street. A lot of these people were on the street, book and crayons and comic books with, looks like a Jeep filled with candy from some other friends as well. So that was a big party. So that's about all in the book, other than my weight. By the time I was 2 years old, I weighed 30 pounds and I was 35.5 inches tall. So those are the details of the book. The last page has the fact that our baby, Frederick Edward Jones, again spelt with an E, born July the 19th, 1942, and my parents were Helvie and Ray Jones. So that is how, instead of Facebook, we had a baby book. So there we are. Thought I would share that. It is pretty old, written in cursive. Lots of details that no one would ever know, except it was written in a baby book. Today we would probably have all that sort of thing on social media such as Facebook. I'm on the move again. I moved on from the mansion that I was up until yesterday, and now I'm on my friend's boat for a few days. The weather is not conducive to going out. I borrowed my friend's hat. Hopefully he doesn't mind. He let me use it once before. I forgot to ask him earlier today when he was here. If he doesn't mind, I use it again. Ancient Mariner. That's the name of the rowing team that I belong to. Been rowing, but I don't have my rowing machine with me, so I rowed 280 kilometers from the 15th of this month until yesterday. So I won't be rowing for a while. I won't be contributing to the competition or the challenge, which ends on the 15th of October. When I get back to my rowing machine, once I'm off the boat, I'll add a few more meters to that. So I'm on the move again, and once I'm off the boat, I will be somewhere else, and I'll let you know. So that's it all for now from Notes of a Nomad, wishing you, your family, and friends lots of love and laughter. Bye for now from Fred and Notes of a Nomad. Until next time, have lots of love and laughter.